Is 8% the new 4%? Why the withdrawal rate debate misses the point. You may have seen something circulating online recently claiming that 8% is the new 4%. The idea being that the old rule of thumb about only withdrawing 4% of your portfolio per year in retirement is outdated, and retirees can safely pull more. And I want to address that directly. Because whether it's 4% or 8% or any other number, the entire framing of this debate is missing the point. And if you build your retirement around either number without understanding why, you're likely to find yourself in trouble. Now, let me explain to you what the 4% rule actually is, why it became popular, and why the more important question is not what percentage you withdraw, but how your withdrawals are structured. Now, the 4% rule came out of research done in the 1990s, and the idea was straightforward. If you withdraw no more than 4% of your portfolio in the first year of retirement and adjust for inflation each year thereafter, your money has a high probability of lasting 30 years across most historical market conditions. That's it. That's the whole rule. And it wasn't designed as a personal income strategy. It was not designed to account for your tax situation or your Social Security timing, your healthcare costs, or what happens when you have a bad sequence of market returns in the first 5 years of retirement. It was just a historical observation about portfolio survival rates. And it became shorthand for something it was never meant to be. Now, people are saying 8% is the new 4%, pointing to recent market performance, higher interest rates on fixed income, and various other arguments. And some of those arguments have merit in isolation. But the problem with both numbers is the same problem. They treat retirement income as a single dial that you turn up or down, when in reality it is a system with multiple moving parts that interact with each other in ways that a percentage alone cannot capture. Here's what I mean. The year that you retire and the sequence of returns you experience in the first 5 to 7 years matters more than the average return over your entire retirement. A retiree who sees a 25% market drop in year 2 of retirement and is pulling out $8,000 a month is in a completely different situation than a retiree that sees that same drop in year 15. The second person has had years of growth behind them. The first person is selling investments at a loss to pay for groceries, and every dollar sold at a loss is a dollar that never participates in the recovery. No withdrawal rate rule accounts for that sequence. The only thing that accounts for it is a structure, specifically a structure where your essential monthly expenses are not coming from accounts that fluctuate with the market. That is the foundation of what we build for our clients. Essential income, the money that pays for housing, food, healthcare, and everything that's not optional, comes from sources that are not exposed to market swings. Now, that might be Social Security, a pension, an annuity with contractual guarantees, or some combination. But the money that is invested for growth is invested with a longer time horizon precisely because it doesn't have to fund next month's mortgage payment. When that structure is in place, the question of what percentage you are withdrawing becomes a much more nuanced and much more manageable conversation, because you're not just pulling from one pile. You are drawing from different sources with different purposes, different tax treatments, and across different time horizons. And instead of a fixed rule, you have a system called guardrails that adjusts based on what the market is actually doing. When your portfolio performs above a certain threshold, your income goes up by a defined amount. And when it drops below a threshold, you make a defined temporary downward adjustment. And you know the number going in, you know the trigger, you know what normal looks like, and you know when you are back to it. Now, that's not an 8% rule or 4% rule, it's a plan. So the next time that you see a headline about what the new safe withdrawal rate is, I want you to ask yourself a different question. Not what percentage should I be withdrawing, but Does my retirement income have a structure that tells me what to do when markets go up, what to do when they go down, and what I can count on regardless? And if you don't have a clear answer to that, the Great Life Meeting is where we start. It's not a sales meeting, it's a process. It's not just a single conversation, it looks at everything, your income structure, your tax picture, your investment allocation, all of your goals together. Because that is the only way to build something that actually holds up across a 30-year retirement. The link to schedule one is in the description.